Hey, how y'all doing? I hope your day is going great today. And if it's not going great, then I hope that as it continues, I hope that it only gets better, better, and better, and better. So today, real quick, y'all, hadn't been able to jump on, but happy to be able to get on today. Real quick, I was listening to a sermon and message, and there's a lot of key things that I took out of it. But one of the key things that I took out of it was when the pastor said that, you can look at a situation and you can look at the day and you can say, instead of saying what's the worst that could happen, why not say what's the best that could happen, right? And I think that for a lot of us, that's what we've been taught, is to think about, okay, like what's the worst, absolute worst that could happen. But instead, it made me kind of rethinking to myself, like, okay, like switch that language up and what does it mean and what does it feel like to say what's the best outcome, what's the best that could happen, instead of always going to the worst, right? Like, I think that it's important for us to kind of look at situations as, just because something is, we're being moved out the way, or we're being removed from a situation, or maybe something is happening that we don't necessarily want to happen, or maybe it is something that's ending that we don't necessarily want to end, we want to continue it. But what if that's the opportunity for us to walk into something else that we've been destined to do, something that we have purpose in doing, and making sure that we are not necessarily looking at the worst of things, right? So again, like, I think it's all perspective, right? I think our minds sometimes have been trained to look at the worst case scenarios, but let's look at the best case scenarios to situations. Let's try to focus on that this week. Let's try to focus on that this month, the rest of this month, and going forward. Like, what's the best that could happen, instead of looking at what's the worst that could happen, right? Because I know, for me personally, there's been a lot of situations that happened, and I look at them like wow, like it was supposed to happen. Like, I stayed in places way too long, and then I realized when I was being moved out of those spaces, especially like from a spiritual level, like God was moving me out of that situation because I refused to move myself out of those situations, and He had better for me, right? So what does it look like for us to move in situations and